I'm State Rep Dave Maloney from Berks County, and we're here at the Farm Show, the 102nd Farm Show, as a matter of fact. And we're sitting here with Secretary Russell Redding.
Great to see you.
Glad to see you here.
Good to see you.
And I know it's been a busy time for you, and this is a great event not only for agriculture, but for Pennsylvania in general.
Yeah.
So, just a couple things quick. I know it's been a long day. I'd like to just ask you some things pertaining to the theme this year.
Yeah.
Some of the things from my district, I saw I have certain constituents that won ribbons and new things with like hard cider and Ole's FFA got an award.
Yep.
So some of those things are exciting for the district, but in general, what can you tell us about this year's show?
Well, we are honored to host a Commonwealth show, right? I mean, this has sort of been a piece that I think I've come to really appreciate. That this is not something just the department does, or an individual commodity or Pennsylvania. It's the whole Commonwealth, right? So to be able to host that is really a nice feeling. We have a theme of strength in our diversity, which we think is really captures well this difference between the commodities, between the regions, between the ethnicity, right? From hardwoods to forest products, urban centers. So that's really exciting, and you can put that on display. Everybody identifies with it, right? Your agriculture in Berks County looks different than maybe mine and Adams. So that's all part of this theme, but we're excited about it. Great year, off to a great start.
I saw the butter display was very, very farm oriented this year.
Yeah.
Pretty neat to see all the figurines, if you will, inside that. That was a neat display.
It's
Usually
pretty cool.
is every year.
Yeah, it is. But this one has the right scale.
That's
right?
what I
It's got
thought.
a right, real feel to it.
Yeah.
I liked it. It's got the agronomist. It has the farmer. It has the dairy processor, and most important, the animal, the cow.
Yes.
Right. That makes all those other things sort of possible.
Yes.
So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I think that was done very well.
Good.
Sends a pretty good message. Yeah. And so, on that note, we have a challenge, and we have a specific geographical challenge that happened in the district. And I think everybody would know that if they haven't seen these at my office or seen the displays from the Department of Ag, the spotted lanternfly, which has starting to make a little bit more even national news. And so speak to us a little bit about, and I know I was a little bit more involved with this a little prior to you coming on, but speak to us and the district as to what you feel the efforts are towards combating this.
Yeah. Well, first I want to say thank you. For your leadership on this issue. I think our patience, on both sides has been tested.
Yes.
Right? And out of how do you respond, what's an appropriate response, how do you move fast enough? You're getting calls from constituents, we're getting calls. First time in North America, an invasive pest in every way. It's invasive in every single way, right? It's in our lives, it's in your products, all of that. So just to say thank you though. I think going forward, it started, you were ground zero for the spotted lanternfly. We're now, in 13 counties in southeast Pennsylvania. It's a major challenge, and all we can do at this point, since there's no sort of labeled sprays to do it and those pest treatment programs, is just rely on our citizens to do these are intentional. They have a purpose. Scrape cards to get rid of it. Report into the Department of Agriculture. We're working with the U.S. Department of Agriculture to find some resources, get a strategy, but those things are slow. It's going to really take another year, I think, to get our research program sort of at a point where it gives us good feedback.
So there's a few questions with respect to that. As everybody saw these scrape cards, it's basically an informational card, but it's also got a purpose, as you said, to scrape egg masses. So a lot of talk, and even as of late, we had 0 and sub-zero temperatures back home. And I believe we had 2 previous winters where our temperatures were consistently low for at least a period of time, and it didn't seem to have any effect on the egg masses. And so now there's talk again right away that this may have some effect. Do we know that that could be the case?
We do not know that.
That's what I thought.
A lot of speculation. I'd love to say if there's some silver lining in a -7 day or a -15 day that it helped to sort of help us contain or kill some of these spotted lanternflies. But I can't say that. The research doesn't say that there is a correlation, right? So we don't know. We'll know as soon as spring arrives, but we don't know yet.
Right. And so for some of the constituents that don't actually know how big an impact this is, literally within my neighborhood, within literally 2 minutes of my house, we have had people testify in hearings that have vineyards or orchards. I actually live on a former orchard that my wife's parents and grandparents had, and so we're surrounded with orchards in the area. And the big concern is what that could possibly do. I mean, we have a constituent and a friend who literally provides the apples for McDonald's and Red Cheek and Trader Joe's and all of those bigger names that we may think are disconnected, but yet very connected to us, and what that impact could be on them economically. And so, can we speak a little bit about maybe help that we have got, maybe from the USDA? Can you speak about a little bit about that, with the monies especially, and how they have responded?
It's a great question. So one of the challenges with this pest is it hasn't found anything it doesn't like, right? And it likes a lot of the stuff that we produce. And that's the vineyards and the grapes and apples and et cetera. So our challenge is how to contain that. But in the last couple of years, building this relationship with the U.S. Department of Agriculture, they have been the financial supporter, right? Put a lot of money into research and frontline sort of staff work to do the surveillance, to do the containment. They have put nearly $5 million into the effort. Our ask for 2018 is twice that, to really make this sort of work. We think this is a key year. We've got.
So we're talking about $10 million.
That is part of our ask. That's correct, right? Because we think it's going to take twice the effort we did last year to help contain those, right? And that's the worry.
So there's been talk about $40 million. Where do you think that number comes from? Any idea?
Well, I know where it comes from. I mean, there was a technical work group made up of the USDA and others that began to assess and to look at tree removal and of the Atlantis tree, and they did some multiplying. So that was their number. I don't know if that's a realistic number. Okay. I feel pretty confident that we're going to try to work hard at the state to put some state money in, and we're going to use that as yeast to raise some federal money. But what we've said to the USDA is it's going to take 2x last year at a minimum, and that gets you somewhere around $10 million as the federal contribution to this.
Okay, so right now, I'll just say for my home, even this week, I myself was proactive with some walnut trees. I've pretty well left most of my Atlantis tree of heaven go for now, for reasons that they're host trees. There are reasons that we haven't gotten to yet, and let's speak about those who get proactive on their own property in the concern they may have and they may not know about the trunks and the things that they have to know about treatment for further eradication.
Well, it's not as simple, right? As folks have presented this. It's not cut it down, the problem goes away. It actually exacerbates the problem, right? It's very, this tree of heaven, the Atlantis tree, is also an invasive plant. So there's a cut and there's a diagram, that you can go to the Department of Agriculture website and sort of look at it under spotted lanternfly. There's a very specific treatment program of cut and remove and treatment, spray treatment, that's got to be managed to really have that be an effective strategy. And so for my district specifically, which as you alluded to or even said, ground zero, and I have said multiple times, can you give us a kind of a comfort zone, if you will, that being the nucleus, we will be not forgotten, so to speak, but we will be part of the major addressing, knowing that so much of it has come from our area? I can assure you, you will not be forgotten. I mean, we've got this running discussion with the U.S. Department of Agriculture, whether you do internal, external. You've been part of this conversation.
Yes.
What we've said is it's not an either or.
Right.
Right? I mean, you're not going to fight this thing simply standing around the fences, right? You've got to go right in.
Right.
And so our strategy is, listen, if the dollars that come from the USDA have to be around the perimeter, we understand that. But then we'll use the state dollars to do inside. Okay? But we'll keep working with you.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. And I think that, and I hope that that's helpful for everybody, especially the constituents that wonder about, going forward. We're in a little bit of a lull right now because we're not sure about how we're going to attack in the springtime, but knowing that we must be aggressive with this.
Yeah, we'll keep working on it. Really appreciate your support.
Thank you.